Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Tiny Kitchen. Sorry I'm not going to show you my beautiful face for radio today. I spent a week in Cleveland, Ohio in a training class, and my eyes are fried. But today we're going to start right with it, and this is what we got going. I'm going to make 6 pints of pickled vegetables. Now, in the first bowl here you see we've got green beans cut, and I've got some hot peppers that I'm going to put in it. We got some garlic, good stuff. I got some fresh dill. I got some cucumbers that I've sliced into chips. I've got some carrots, sticks, and we have some cauliflower. Now I'm only doing 6 pints today, and I'm pretty doggone sure I'm going to have more vegetables than I really need, and I can probably make a salad with that later. But today we're going to do 6 pints. What we're going to do is we're going to start out with getting the jars prepped for the vegetables. So what I've got here is some pickle crisp, and I'm going to put that in the jars, a little pinch in each jar, and that sort of helps keep the vegetables crisp when you're doing the hot water bath. I don't know how well it works. We're going to find out. So we got that done. And the next part of the project is to get some dill in there. I'm going to get some fresh dill, get a few sprigs in each jar, and if I have some of this left over, I'm probably going to make a dilly tomato or a potato salad. I love it. I think Mike loves it. So we'll give that a shot. So let's get all this stuff in here. And you notice I'm not using a colander for this because that will come when I get the brine ready for you all. So we're just about done stuffing. I still got to put my peppers and my garlic in. There's that. A few sprigs in each one. Got to have that dill flavor. Get in there. So now I got some yellow cayennes. We like them hot. And these are actually orange serranos. So I'm going to throw one of those in each of the jars. That one's not going to be as spicy, but that's okay. And then we got our garlic. The garlic. Huge cloves. I couldn't get the skins off them. I had to smash some of them to get them ready to go. So there we go. Some of them are pieces parts. That's not going to hurt anything. And then now we're going to start stuffing. And these are really good. When my son Victor was a little bitty boy, he hated carrots. He would not eat them to save his life. The only way I could get him to eat carrots is if I pickled them. So I did the pickling, and he loved them. So I'm going to do a couple of jars here with you guys on. So we got that in. Let's get a couple of slices. We're not big. I don't know why I grew cucumbers this year. Don't ask me. I just did. So we'll get some carrot spears in here, carrot sticks. Get them down in there. I want to make sure that they're going to be below the brine. Probably should have cut a few of these in half. Get some cauliflower in here. That's about ready. One more piece of cauliflower. We like our cauliflower. That should be good. And I don't stuff them tightly. We don't need a lot of it, but there you go. There's your first jar, and I will be back after I get the rest of them stuffed. Okay, so I got all my jars nice and packed, And the next step, normally I would do this when I'm getting everything ready, but I had to have my stove. So right now we're going to do the brine for everything, and I'm getting my burner turned on. And I'm putting in 6 cups of water. With 2 cups of vinegar. And if you'll hang on just a moment, I'll get me a 1/4 cup of salt. I use sea salt in all of my canning. It's just the way it is. It actually is much better. For canning, it doesn't impart a different flavor. It just something that's really good to me. You can use any kind of canning salt you want to, but for me, it's always going to be kosher. So what I'm going to do now, I've got my jars all packed and ready to go. I've got this on high, and I'm going to bring it to a boil because I want that salt to all dissolve and make sure everything's good and mixed together. So while we're waiting for that, I'll do some other things, and I'll be right back, folks. We are back, and my brine is done, and I had to move the camera back a little bit because my lens kept steaming up because I'm right over the brine. So what our next step is to fill these, give them an inch of headroom, and get them ready for the electric canner. Now, you may not use all of the brine. If you don't, that's okay. In canning season, you can cool this down and put it in the fridge for about 3 weeks, and it will keep for 3 weeks, and usually during canning season you're going to use it all. So we're going to move these out of the way, move a couple others up. I want to explain to you about a hot water bath. I have an electric canner, so it works a little bit differently, but if you're new to canning and you're using a hot water bath on your stove, when you're doing this, this is classified as a cold pack. Even though you're using hot brine, it's still classified as a cold pack. So when you're doing this, you don't want to put your brine, or put your jars in to boiling hot water in your hot water bath. So if you're doing it on the stove top, you actually get your water going while you're doing this, get it warm, and once you get your jars all ready to go, get the lids on them, get the rings on them, you put them in your hot water bath and you set them down in it, and make sure that you got at least an inch or 2 of headroom to cover the jars to hot water bath. You cannot do this in a pressure canner because your jars will blow up because of all of the acid that's in it. So once you get your jars in and you get your water boiling, once you get your jars in and get them down in the water, and there's an inch or 2 of headroom on them, you bring the water to a boil. Once the water is brought to a boil, then you start setting your time. So when you all hear me say I'm only going to do these for 5 minutes, they will be done by the time the 5 minutes is up, because you're going to be boiling them until you're going to be cooking them while they're coming up to a boil, and that will get them all going. And I got a little helper here. You can see his hands in the background. He's wiping the jars off for me, and I'm not ready to do a couple of them yet because I want to put some more brine in them, but we will be back for the next step. Now we're moving on to the next step, and I'm going to try not to burn myself. I always put my lids in boiling water before I start canning because it helps the wax adhere to the jars better. So we're going to put a lid on each one of these. And then I'm going to put my rings on. And when you're doing this, you want to hand tighten. You don't want them tight, but you don't want them loose either, because if you get them too loose, all the liquid boils out of them, and you got a mess in your canner. So there we go. These are nice and hot. And now I'm going to put my rings on. We'll do them one at a time, and I'm going to move them out of camera. I'm not going to show you my hot water bath or my electric canner, because I think I've already shown you guys this in one other video. Now when I get these jars in here, if I don't have enough water in it to cover them, I'll add some more water. They're looking pretty. I normally do these in quarts, but my electric canner will only do pints in hot water bath, and it takes so long to do this on my stovetop that I'm just gonna sacrifice it and do it in pints. But nothing's gonna go to waste. But look how pretty those are. Isn't that pretty? Hopefully you saw that. I don't know. I can get 9 pints in this hot water electric canner, but we're only doing 6 today because this is my last canning of the year, and I really don't want to do any more. So we're going to get the electric canner going. Like I said, I'm going to only do it for 5 minutes. Again, the water's going to come to a boil, and that's when you start your time. And after 5 minutes, it cools down a little bit, and I can pull my jars out and get them ready for a 24-hour set without moving. And they will be ready to go in about 6 weeks. So hang on there, folks. We'll show you the outcome. Okay, everybody, we're done. So I'm going to pull them out, show you what they look like after they're all hot water bathed. And they are looking really pretty. So there's 2. And we got 2 more. And we got 2 more coming right behind it. There you go. We got 6 pints right now of pickled vegetables. I'm going to let these sit for 24 hours, and hopefully they will seal and we can hear them pop while we're waiting. But the house is kind of hot, so I don't know if it's going to pop or not. But we're done. I thank you for coming along. I actually did this for a YouTuber who asked me about this, and I really wasn't going to do any canning for the pickled vegetables, but he kind of got me geeked up. So his name is Travis Willis. He has 2 YouTube channels. One of the channels is called What You Doin' Willis, and the other one is TubeTown. And he's a hoot. I love following him. He likes to change the world one smile at a time. And if you want to check him out, go check him out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. It's free. What the heck? With me too. If you see this run across your page and you think this might be interesting to you, subscribe, like, and share if you'd like to. But now that we're done, I would like to say thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you all have a blessed day. So we will see you on the next video.